morning. I'm back. My name is Marko Hainen. I'm the founder of the Help the Oceans. And today, as you all know, there has been a little bit in redirecting at the moment, as I need to take care of my wife and things are a little bit changed. But I do like to keep you in update and going back to the topics where I was actually going through in several areas from the plastic pollutions in the Pacific. And today we are actually on South Atlantic. So as we all know, South Atlantic is really busy in a maritime environment. It is basically back and forward. But let's talk about something which is many companies, unfortunately, they don't like to talk about that one. And even if there is somebody like me who like to talk about it, they have their way to avoid or redirecting the conversation to somewhere else by promoting that their company don't do like this, their company do like this. For me, as I work on the general cargo ships, I work on oil tankers, I work in the product tankers, I work in the small containers, I work in ro-ros, I work with the passenger ferries, I work in the private yachts, I work in the cruise ships. And where I did not work is the tugboats. I did do some assistance, but that was in the coastal and the Baltic Sea. 34 years, I travel all the 7 seas, really in the North Atlantic, and all the way to the Antarctica. So I can say that I cover all the areas. Unfortunately, I saw, and unfortunately, I know what is the real life when you work at sea as a deck boy, deckhand, AB, OS, any watchkeeping guy. Yes, watchkeeping guys, you know, there's nighttime on the bridge and the daytime on the deck. So let's talk about in South Atlantic, yeah. There is a really rapid increase. Asian plastic bottles example. That is just example. It's not that everything what is on the oceans are bottles. That's not true. There is a small ones, microplastics. There is bags. There is a floating face mask. There is a, well, tampons, you name it, ocean habit. But just to make it nice and simple, it is rapid increase the Asian bottles in the South Atlantic. And this is where the many people are against my opinion. But of course, like I said it many times, we have a 7.82 billion people in this world, and not everybody think the same way. My basically investigating and my research based on all the facts what I found. And yes, now somebody want to claim it that, you know, facts are facts. They are making fake news. I can't actually comment on that one. Are they what I research? Are they in the fake news as they are in some major researches, some universities, some scientific research centers? And those ones, they do it as they are funded to do. But yes, major plastics, unfortunately, on the plastics at sea come from the ships. What kind of ships? Well, anything with floats and commercial use, those are considered as ships. Yes, there are boats as well. And yes, those smaller boats, they throw it as well. I've seen it. by my own eyes. I still have two eyes. So I see it. But let's talk about just a little bit in what is actually, what has been going on over there. As we know, let's go back in time, as all the scientific things, they like to go back in time, because what they can relay is the accumulations since then to then, how much has increased. That is only what the scientific guys can do. And as I get all the fundings and all done, what I can do is the major thing: video, live video, recorded video. But I actually like the live videos, because as we all know, when you have a live video, the picture do not lie on the live videos. And many people do it, of course. Unfortunately, when they have a recorded videos, they are, as nowadays, little bit modified. But I like to keep it as live as possible I can, without sacrificing my own life in the first couple of weeks at sea. So there is a certain things what can be and what can't be said. And the live videos can't actually lie. Yes, there is always somebody who claims that. I do respect everybody's opinion about it. I don't mind for that one. I just do my job. And my job is basically produce the evidence. That I've been doing in my, 30 years in life. I provide the evidence. When something has happened, I investigate, I provide the evidence. So currently, actually, unfortunately, 75% of bottles are from Asia. 75% currently. Well, again, those scientific guys, they do the investigations and they provide some evidence what actually can relay on the statistics. Where the bottles come from, what's in the bottle, what they're catching some bottles, what's in over there, labels, stamps, production numbers. So those bottles, I cannot say that 100% all of them come from the ships. Quite many, yes, they come from. But as we know, all the oceans, we have a current. All the oceans have rivers connected to the oceans. And yes, unfortunately, there is many rivers all around the world where trucks, people, villages, they dump all the garbage to the rivers because the river is going to take it away. They take it away. So they ended up in oceans. They ended up in the beaches. And yes, unfortunately, some of them come from the ships. As I said it earlier, those companies who are operating and manufacture not manufacture, they're operating on the ships. They go back and forth. Asia, Europe, Africa, South America, North America, blah, blah, blah. They go in, and yes, they do dump. They claim that they don't do. They have regulations. And yes, they do have regulations. I saw it in the printed. I saw the manuals in quite many companies. But they still do it during the nighttime. They can say that they don't, but they do. That's a fact. If they, let's say, this is something in what going to create the problems with the many companies between my statement and their procedures. If they want to provide, oh yeah, let's go a little bit backwards. I work on the ships, cruise ships, as a security manager. Overall in charge is 700 plus cameras on one ship. every single deck, let's say millimeters or inches, are covered by the cameras. So basically, really anything what happens on those ships where I worked for can't be basically done on the decks that is not in the some cameras. They are. So to avoid, I mean, not to avoid, but those commercial ships, like, well, general cargo ships, containers, tankers, blah, 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 which is not carrying the passengers, or ferries and that kind of things, would they basically put the live cameras and recorded cameras to the ships, which is covered all the deck compartments, can see everything what goes out from the ship, what stays on the deck, who's in the deck? They don't. They're gonna claim that it costs too much money for the company, which is true, it costs. And that is, again, in one of those funny parts, which is plastic pollution in the oceans can't be actually taken away 100%, but can be actually decreased by talking and supporting me. Get me funding, I will go over there and I will find the ships which do that kind of things. But it will be not, for sure, it will be not identified basically live. That is impossible, because if I do it in a live, I'm going to be dead in 24 hours after that picture is in the video is on a live. That is the reality. Only what I can do, sail around, when I see something, I record it, and yes, it will be published a little bit in afterwards, so I'm in the different locations. And yes, I know how the AIS is working. I can turn it off, so basically those times, well, AIS is not tracking on me and I can't be identified. That is the reality, unfortunately. But we'll see how it's gonna go. So 75%, there's a lot of plastic come from the Asia. Well, let's go a little bit in what I found it actually on here. Let me see, where is the something in a little bit different. Let me see. Oh yeah, there is this really funny places in like in the middle of the South Atlantic is a Tristan da Cunha archipelago. That's a really interesting way when it comes to the currents, ocean currents from the Asia. Of course, the currents go via the Antarctica and then they go into the west part of the South Africa. They're going up over there and then they circulate and they turn to the east. And then in the middle of the, well, not in the middle, but it started actually on a little bit in the South African coast, in the really south part of the Brazil, where the currents actually and the debris which is in the oceans can be mixed. South Atlantic gyre and the current. If it's gonna mix it with the South Atlantic gyre, it will then mix it up and it will take it upper. And it goes to then in the South Africa, and it goes to all the way almost like under Nigeria, and then it is on the equatorial current over there. And from there again the current is going all the way in the South African and in coastline all the way to the Cuba, and it's ended up then in the Northern Atlantic. We can talk about the Northern Atlantic a little bit later, not today. But that's how it is actually on when it comes to the in the currents. And then of course let's go to the little bit on what I found it up on the Newsweek, which is done in the 2 years ago in 2019. Well, plastic pollution is inaccessible islands in the South Atlantic come from the Chinese ships. That is a little bit incorrect directly. It might, yes, and yes, it comes from the Chinese ships, but not entirely from the Chinese ships. And they claim that study says it comes from the many different country ships. No matter what they say, it will come from the many different kind of ships. Many different country ships. Not only from the Chinese ships. It will just to cover entire the South Atlantic. What can I say about that one? I'm currently actually talking about a few underwater drone companies. There is basically something in what I like to keep it a little bit yet still on my side, and I want to get the underwater drone what can be handled in the single-handed and can go up to the 200, 300, 500 meters, which is about 1,500 feet. There's some drones actually in underwater drones with commercial use, which can go all the way to the 2,000 feet, or they can go like 600-700 meters. And if I remember right, some of the drones, commercial use, capable to handle by one person, can go to up to the 1,000 meters. If I would get one of those ones, I would easily cover the ocean floor in many places where just the normal divers can't do. And yes, all those ones which is founded over there, I can cover. I can also do if any of you guys who do the ocean floors mapping, if you want to get in your drone to my boat, I can handle that one as well. Give me the drone, I will keep it up and running. I will cover quite a large amount of ocean floor. And yes, I can do it for free for you if you give me the drone. I don't need anything, unless you want to provide me some funding to operate it for that one, as you're going to get in the promoted that I'm going to do your ocean mapping. I can do that one as well. And of course, the ocean drones, those are the one. At the moment, many of the sailors, they use drones. That's really nice for the traveling. What I want to do, I want to go to the other way around. I want to go down. Really, 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 really deep down on over there, where I can see where the plastics are. They are deep, and yes, the ocean mammals, they do eat for that one. So having said that, it is actually 6:30 in the morning in here. I've been up in here since 4 o'clock, as that is the normal for me. But having said that one, please subscribe, please share my channel to any way you like to share it. More publicity, more activity, more subscribers on my channel. More subscribers I get it, more funding I hopefully get it. And then when the funding is done, I will make a breaking news again as the boat will be taken, and yes, you will see what boat it's gonna be and what the name will be the boat, as that one is already decided. So please do share, please subscribe, as I need your help and Ocean need our help. Having said that one, my name is Marko Häinen, founder of the Help the Oceans. Have a good day wherever you are. Stay safe, wear the mask, keep yourself alive, and think about yourself as we have only one life. Thank you and see you soon. Bye bye.